Hey there, welcome back to Travel Vibes, where smarter travel starts with the right tips. Let me ask you this. Have you ever landed in a new city only to realize your charger's dead, your bag didn't make it, or your mobile signal just vanished when you needed it most? I've been there, and trust me, it's not fun. But the good news? Almost all of those disasters were avoidable. With the right travel gear, flying becomes a lot less stressful and a lot more exciting. So today, we're diving into what travel items are truly worth the splurge, and which ones are just overhyped clutter. If you're a digital nomad, a student on a solo trip, or someone chasing weekend getaways, stick around. And hey, if you enjoy practical, no-nonsense travel tips, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Part number 1, the one travel investment you'll never regret. Now let's talk about the foundation of every great trip, your luggage. I've seen so many travelers, college students heading on their first solo trip, busy professionals racing through terminals, even retired couples exploring bucket list destinations, struggling with wobbly wheels or broken zippers at the worst possible time. Here's the truth. Investing in a quality suitcase or backpack isn't about looking fancy. It's about saving yourself from the kind of hassle that ruins a perfectly good travel day. Whether you're heading overseas or just flying across the US for a quick visit, your gear needs to hold up. Look for smooth 360-degree spinner wheels, a sturdy telescopic aluminum handle, and lightweight but durable construction. For international trips, go for a medium to large checked bag. For weekenders or short hauls, a compact carry-on with a solid outer shell and efficient interior space will be your best friend. And if you're older or just prefer comfort over complexity, choose something easy to lift, maneuverable in tight spaces, and with ergonomic grips. Because let's be honest, no one wants to wrestle with luggage in a crowded airport. Part number 2, the tiny device that could save your entire trip. Now, once you've got reliable luggage, the next question is, how do you keep track of it? Because even the best suitcase can't help you if it ends up in the wrong city. If you've ever waited nervously at baggage claim while the crowd thins out and your suitcase is nowhere in sight, you know that sinking feeling. One traveler I met had her bag accidentally rerouted to Berlin while she flew to Barcelona. But thanks to a tiny AirTag tucked discreetly inside her lining, she was able to show the airline exactly where her luggage was, down to the carousel, and got it back within 24 hours. That kind of peace of mind? Priceless. For iPhone users, AirTags are a no-brainer. If you're on Android, Tile is a great alternative. Either way, spending a little on a tracker can save you a lot of stress, especially at chaotic airports like LAX, JFK, or Heathrow, where lost luggage reports are more common than you'd think. It's a simple tool, but in today's world of tight layovers and jam-packed flights, it's one I'd never fly without. Part number 3, skip the SIM hunt, the smarter way to stay connected abroad. Alright, so your bag's packed and safely tracked. But what about your phone? For most travelers today, especially solo flyers, digital nomads, or Gen Z adventurers, your phone is your lifeline. Navigation, translation, booking confirmations, even emergency help, it all depends on having solid mobile data. Now here's the issue. International roaming fees from US carriers can be outrageous. And sure, you could line up at a kiosk for a local SIM card, but who wants to fumble with tiny chips after a red-eye flight? That's where eSIMs come in. These digital SIM cards let you activate data plans for over 200 countries without swapping anything physically. Just download the app, choose your destination, scan a QR code, and boom, you're online in minutes. Apps like Olafly, Aralo, Holafly, and Nomad make it easy. But here's the trick. Double-check your phone is unlocked and compatible with eSIMs before you travel. And once installed, avoid connecting to unknown Wi-Fi networks. Public hotspots at airports or cafes can be a hacker's playground. Use a VPN if possible to keep your data secure. Reliable mobile data abroad doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. A good eSIM setup means you stay connected from wheels down to wheels up, without missing a beat. Part number 4, power on the go. What to know before choosing a power bank. Let's face it, no matter where you're flying, your phone will run out of juice when you need it most. That's why a power bank isn't a luxury anymore. It's survival gear. But before you grab the cheapest one off Amazon, listen up. Not all power banks are created equal. I've tested dozens, and here's the deal. Brands like Anchor and Nightcore consistently deliver on reliability, speed, and safety. Three things that matter when your gate is halfway across the terminal and your phone's at 3%. Now here's a pro tip many travelers miss. If you bring a tablet or laptop, you'll want a power bank that can handle more than just a smartphone. Look for models with power delivery (PD) and at least 20,000 milliamp hours. That way, your gear stays alive even on long-haul flights or remote layovers. Also, a quick warning, TSA only allows power banks under 100 watt-hours in carry-on luggage, and they must never go in checked bags. So check the label before you pack. And lastly, while wireless charging sounds fancy, it's not always ideal when you're on the move. It's slower, bulkier, and can easily disconnect with a bump. Wired charging? Still king when you're racing between gates. A good power bank won't just charge your phone, it'll buy you peace of mind when everything else runs on empty. Part number 5. Stay plugged in. Smart charging and adapters for global travel. So your phone's charged and your power bank is ready. But can you even plug in your gear once you land? If you've ever stared blankly at a round socket in Paris or a three-pronged monster in London, you know the pain. That's why a universal travel adapter is one of the most underrated tools in your bag. We've used models like Epica, which work in over 200 countries and come with multiple USB ports. But here's where it gets better. Some newer adapters now include USB-C with power delivery, built-in surge protection, and overload safety features, which can be a lifesaver when you're charging expensive gear like a laptop or mirrorless camera. Just a heads up, avoid cheap knockoffs. Poorly made adapters not only break easily, they can overheat or spark, especially in older hotel outlets. It's not just about convenience, it's about electrical safety. And if you're traveling as a couple or with tech-heavy gear, consider packing a mini power strip or USB hub with multiple ports. One wall outlet turns into a full charging station, and no more fighting over who gets to charge first. Whether you're backpacking through Asia or heading to Europe on business, being able to charge your devices without hassle, that's the kind of freedom every modern traveler deserves. Part number 6, save your money. These budget packing helpers actually work. Let's be real, no one boards a flight thinking, I wish I spent more on packing cubes. And you don't need to. While name brand organizers might look sleek on Instagram, the truth is, basic ones work just as well if you pack smart. Start with your folding technique. Rolling your clothes tightly, placing heavier items at the base, and layering lighter pieces on top helps maximize space. Use compression cubes if you like structure, or better yet, just grab a few gallon-sized Ziploc bags. Yep, the kind from your kitchen. They keep things visible, seal in air, and separate clean from dirty clothes effortlessly. For your tech pouch, look for one with water-resistant material and dedicated spots for cords, power banks, and adapters. It doesn't need to be fancy, just organized. Because digging through your backpack on a crowded plane to find a charger is nobody's idea of fun. Whether you're a college student flying home, a weekend warrior heading to Vegas, or a family traveler with kids in tow, simple tools and smart habits always beat overpriced gear. Part number 7, skip the pricey bottles, stay clean and hydrated the smart way. Now let's talk toiletries and water bottles, 2 things you absolutely need, but absolutely don't need to overspend on. I've seen travelers drop nearly $100 on designer refillable bottles just because they're labeled travel-friendly. Truth is, a simple set of soft silicone tubes from Amazon, easy to squeeze, leak-proof, and TSA approved, does the job perfectly. And hydration? Essential. But you don't need a fancy self-cleaning UV bottle unless you're backpacking deep into the wilderness. For most city-to-city travelers, a standard BPA-free bottle works great. If you're heading somewhere with questionable water quality, think rural areas or international destinations off the beaten path. Just pair it with a Life straw. It filters out the bad stuff and costs way less than a $100 smart bottle. When you get home, give your bottles a good scrub with hot water and baking soda. No fancy cleaner required. Whether you're a college grad exploring Europe or a family heading to Disney, this is one travel category where simple beats stylish every time. Part number 8. The one thing between you and blisters. Don't skimp here. You can have the perfect itinerary, but if your feet are aching, none of it matters. That's why investing in high-quality socks and walking shoes is one of the smartest travel decisions you can make. Let's start with socks. Cheap cotton socks trap sweat, cause friction, and leave you vulnerable to blisters, especially if you're walking 10,000 steps through Rome or racing between terminals at JFK. Instead, go for merino wool. Brands like Darn Tough and Smart Wool may cost more upfront, but they're breathable, moisture-wicking, and built to last. A few solid pairs beat a dozen throwaways. Now about shoes. Never take brand new ones straight to the airport. Spend a week or two breaking them in with short walks, and you'll thank yourself mid-trip. And when you're on the road, rotate socks daily and air them out overnight. A towel rack or windowsill in your hotel room works great. Whether you're a weekend explorer, a retired traveler tackling national parks, or just someone who values comfort over flash, treat your feet well. They're doing all the heavy lifting. Part number 9. Block the noise, keep the peace. Why headphones matter more than you think. If there's one travel luxury I'll never give up, it's noise-canceling headphones. And I'm not talking about style points here. I'm talking about sanity. Whether you're a frequent flyer, a nervous traveler, or someone who just values a moment of calm at 35,000 feet, the right pair of headphones can make a huge difference. I've personally used the Sony WH-1000XM series, and they're fantastic. Clear sound, long battery life, and incredibly comfy, even on red eyes. But let's be fair, Bose Quiet Comfort still wins for feather-like comfort, while Apple's AirPods Max delivers high-end sound with seamless Apple integration. Whichever you choose, the key is weight and fit. You don't want something that pinches or overheats after an hour. Look for cushioned ear cups and adjustable bands, especially if you're flying long haul. And here's a bonus: noise-canceling headphones can also help with flight anxiety. Drown out the engine hum, skip the screaming toddler, and let your playlist or podcast bring you back to calm. For any traveler chasing peace in the skies, this is one item that earns its place in your carry-on. Part number 10. Global entry isn't for everyone. Here's what to do instead. After a long flight, the last thing anyone wants is to stand in line at customs for an hour. That's why so many travelers look into global entry. But here's the thing: it's not always worth the cost. If you only travel internationally once or twice a year, skip the $100 fee and lengthy application process. Instead, download the Mobile Passport Control app, known as MPC. It's free, approved by U.S. and SRAP Customs and Border Protection, and in many cases even faster than global entry. Using it is simple. Just enter your passport info, answer the standard declaration questions, and submit once you land. Then walk past the lines, show your QR code to a customs officer, and you're through. No interview, no fingerprint scan. MPC is supported at over 30 major U.S. airports, including JFK, LAX, Miami, and Dallas. And if you mainly fly domestic, you're better off applying for TSA pre-check. Faster security lines, less hassle, and half the price. For infrequent international flyers or budget-minded travelers, MPC is a no-brainer that saves time without spending a dime. So as you zip up your bag and double-check that flight confirmation, take a moment. Think about what's really worth bringing along and what's just weighing you down. You don't need the trendiest gadgets or the most expensive gear to travel well. What you do need is gear that works, fits your journey, and makes every moment smoother, from check-in to touchdown. Whether you're a weekend explorer, a seasoned flyer, or someone planning that once-in-a-lifetime trip, remember, travel smart isn't about spending more, it's about choosing better. And now, it's your turn. Before your next flight, take a look at what's in your carry-on. What deserves to stay, what should be replaced, and what never needed to be there in the first place. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with a fellow traveler, and make sure you subscribe to Travel Vibes for more tips that take the turbulence out of travel. Until next time, travel smart, travel light, and travel free.